And here they are. These are true spoke Unilug chrome, of course, 15-inch wheels. They come with a fake knockoff spinner. You can see at one point they were on a Corvette. I bought these when I bought the chassis of the car. Pay no attention to the crap tires. These are, I think, 245, 60, 15s. I'm going to step down to probably a 235. I do have room, but it's a little tight. Also, I needed to put a spacer on the back of these, typical with the true spoke, in order to clear the Corvette calipers, a 1/4-inch spacer. I'll show that in a second when I talk about mounting these. Unilugs are very unusual in that they're meant to fit multiple bolt patterns, and you need special washers, special lugs, and a special way of mounting them too. So I'm going to go and show you that right now. Alright, so here's the close-up of the wheel. You can see that the lug opening is actually somewhat oval in shape, and so when you put these in here, they move around a little bit. And so what you have to do is you have to put a special washer in, and here's one here. It's a dished washer. You can see it says wheel side, so the cup side goes to the wheel, and the lug goes in there. And when you put these all in carefully, what they do is they self-center the wheel. So then when you get these wheels, or the special lugs, which you should by going to see the Nut Royalty on eBay, you can find them. You can get different washers, and some of the washers are eccentric, and so they are meant to space the lugs for the different makers of the different bolt pattern. For the GM application here, you use the non-eccentric washer. They're centered, and so that's what they look like. Make sure you get the right lugs, and also that they're plenty long enough. I'll show you what I mean. Alright, here in the back of the wheel you can see these pads here. This is the actual mounting boss of the wheel. And when you stick that lug through, you need to make sure that it's sticking through almost to that boss, but not all the way, because if this is too long, you'll bottom out the lug on the hub before the boss is tightened to the hub. And so I've got the washer on there, and I've got about a 1/4 inch or so play there for the length of the lug. You can get these different lengths to make sure you get the right ones for your wheel. The other hugely important thing is the length of the stud. Here I knew I was going to have to put a spacer on, because if I didn't, the caliper would rub. So I got a 1/4 inch spacer on there, and I ended up, when I rebuilt all the suspension, I put longer studs on here. And so you can see when I put this down, the wheel boss will go right here, and then this will tighten on the wheel right about to there. So I've got quite a lot of thread length, probably a good 1/2 inch or so of thread length going into these studs. Going into these nuts, and that's good. I mean, they would tell you don't need that much, but I like to make them plenty long enough. So these should work just fine. And the other thing, make sure you do, I put anti-seize. You can see it there. I put anti-seize on these when I put them on. Just good practice. Now I'll show you how I mount them. Alright, I'm going to hustle this tire up on my leg, and I'm going to get it right on there. And you can see I've got about a 1/4 inch of thread sticking through the wheel. I have just enough that I can just capture and get these nuts on. You can see what happens is it hangs down off center on the studs. So I've got to get that on there and centered. But I'm just going to thread each one of these on very lightly, just till it touches the surface of the wheel. One more to go. Again, make sure that the cup side of your washer is facing the wheel. These say wheel side. I don't know that you're always going to find them that say that. Okay, so now I've got the wheel on there, and these are all on loose. I'm going to pick up the wheel and pull it towards me and mount it on the shaft like that. So you can see with all 5 of these on here, it self-centers the wheel. And I'm going to keep it pulled towards me. I'm going to take my little ratchet with my 13/16 and I'm going to, a little bit at a time, go around and then just pull the wheel in evenly. I want to make sure I'm not binding the end of that lug nut against the wheel. So I want to make sure nice and evenly pulled forward. You can see it moving. Don't really have to go in a cross pattern at this point. You see, I'm still getting in there. Not really putting much torque on it right now. I want to get them all basically seated and centered. You see now the wheel is on there, tight to the hub. It's going nice and even, as even if these crappy tires will show. Then I can go ahead and tighten it up. Of course, being the front wheel, you can't really torque this until you get it down on the ground, but I'm just putting a little bit of torque on there. And there it is. That's the mounted wheel. And then there's a little hex bolt and these clips that I will be able to mount that on. I will not put these on now because I'm not leaving the Corvette logo. I have something very special that I've made to put on there that we will show you at the end. But I mean, it's time to put this down on the ground and drive this bad boy.